morning, guys. We need to talk. This is Jennifer with Without a Reasonable Doubt. So, yes, I changed my name from Horrific True Crime to Without a Reasonable Doubt. But anyways, I need you guys to watch this news video from Ashley Banfield. Yes, I know she's done a lot of sketchy stuff if you don't like her and stuff, but this one video is actually a must-watch. In this video, she states that Ann Taylor, Bryan Kohbergers Lawyer, is saying that the statement was that she doesn't understand the lack of evidence from the victims residing in his home, his house, dad's house, car or office. That to me sounds like she's saying they did not find any other DNA except for the DNA that's on the knife sheet. You can go check it out. It's in the documents. I'm about to play the video for you from Ashley Banfield where she says it. Please watch the whole video. It is very important. Then just decide what you think. Is he guilty or not? Drop it in the comments. Also, if you could hit that like and subscribe button and that notification button, I would greatly appreciate it. I am trying to grow this channel, and I will keep updating you with more content.
27 more days. That is not much time. And that is a clock that is ominous and painful if you are a defendant in a quadruple murder case like Bryan Kohberger is, because in 27 days, the prosecutors have to make it known whether they plan to kill him if they find him guilty. That's the window. You gotta decide if you're gonna seek the death penalty in this case. And that 60-day clock is down to 27 more days. And as this happens, we've got breaking news tonight here on the Banfield program. We have spoken with several family members' sources connected to the investigation, and we now know the count and what's been happening. Sources who are close to this investigation have told us that several family members have met with prosecutors and they have made their wishes known. And here's how it shakes out at this date. Kara Northington, who is Xana Kernodle's mom, has spoken with prosecutors, and she has indicated she would like to see Bryan Kohberger in prison for the rest of his life if he's convicted. No death penalty. Jeff Kernodle, who is Xana's dad, has indicated the opposite, and he has also spoken with prosecutors about it. He has said he's in favor of the death penalty if Bryan Kohberger is found guilty. You know, Kaylee Gonzalez's family has made it known they are 100% in favor of the death penalty. Maddie Mogan's family as well. As for Ethan Chapin's family, they have not been public about what they would like to see happen, but they have said publicly before that, quote, nothing changes the outcome for them. Whether they've spoken yet with prosecutors about it, we don't know that yet. But tonight we also got a trove of new documents in this case, and a ruling finally on the gag order, but it's weird. First and foremost, the media still gagged. We don't get to see any more, and we are your source, your eyes and ears, so I'm sorry, folks, but the judge has said you don't get to see anything more than you did before under this gag order. As for the Gonzalez family attorney, though, the judge agreed that they need to have more clarity on that gag order. In the meantime, though, the judge says that that lawyer is exempt, along with any other lawyers in the case, from speaking publicly. We did get a ruling on cameras, and for now, they will be allowed in this case. That's huge, because in northern Idaho with Lori Vallow, we had no cameras. But right now, the ruling stays at cameras will be allowed, but there is a possibility that that could change. But we'll cross our fingers. Ann Taylor, Kohberger's attorney, also filed an objection to the DNA protective order, the thing that the prosecutor said we don't want anybody knowing the lineage in that genetic profiling we did from the father on down to, you know, his son. She said no. Kohberger is entitled to the genetic genealogy, to the, you know, DNA that was found on the knife sheet, and there's more. This is good. Take a note. Ready? The third motion that Ann Taylor filed is to compel discovery, that's usual, and it's seeking all DNA profiles developed during the investigation. And here's her quote. Listen carefully. There is no explanation for the total lack of DNA evidence from the victims in Mr. Kohberger's apartment, office, home, or vehicle. What? Wait, what? Let me read it again. There's no explanation for the total lack of DNA evidence from the victims in Mr. Kohberger's apartment, office, home, or vehicle. I did a double take. She argued, in essence, through the lack of disclosure and their motion to protect the genetic genealogy investigation, the state is hiding its entire case. Well, then it's essential to speak with Richard Block. He's a criminal defense attorney. He practices in Idaho. Richard, I Is it a typo? Am I crazy? I don't understand how a defense lawyer could say that she doesn't understand why there's a lack of victims in his apartment, home, or office. Why am I reading this weird, or am I?
I think you are reading it a little weird. So if we look at this, this was allegedly an incredibly violent murder, very bloody, done with a knife, right? That's close quarters. So it would be pretty impossible for the murderer not to get some DNA from the victims on him. And then that DNA is going to show up everywhere that murderer goes, his car, his apartment. And the fact that we don't have that kind of stuff, haven't seen that kind of stuff, or the defense says it hasn't, right? That's a big deal. That certainly is something that points to maybe Mr. Kohberger was not the murderer, that it was somebody else. And
could it go the other way around? I wonder if Kohberger had any kind of relationship with any four of these victims, and they'd been to his apartment or his car or his office, then there'd be a perfectly good explanation as to why his DNA might be on Maddie's bed or transferred to a knife sheath that some stranger dropped there.
That would certainly be something else as well. But it looks to me like that's the strategy they're developing, is that, Kohberger was not, there at the time of the murders, is there going to be their argument.
So, am I supposed to believe he's still guilty? Like, what does that do to you? Does that change anybody's opinion on whether he's guilty or not? Do you guys still think he's guilty, even though they found, obviously, it's a gag order, so they didn't come out and say that they didn't find anything. But the way she worded that in her document, Ann Taylor, Bryan Kohbergers Lawyer, implies that there was no DNA found anywheres. So is it possible, just hear me out, and she says it in the video, is it possible that he was in that home for some other reason at some other point, or maybe even friends with him were doing something, and his DNA just happened to be there and some random stranger dropped it and it transferred? I know it's a crazy thought, but it's also a crazy thought to think that there's no DNA, no blood, no evidence in Bryan Kohberger's apartment, according to his lawyer's statement. Now, if that's the case and this is how it's going down, I don't know how he could be guilty. He had to have had some kind of evidence left behind, either in the house or the car, or in their house, other than just a touch from the knife sheath. Am I wrong? And I'm not saying he's completely innocent. Please don't come for me. I'm not saying that he's guilty. I'm saying I'm mind blown. Because if they literally only have a little bit of touch DNA on the knife sheath, and they can't find any other DNA anywhere else, home, apartment, car, office, don't you think that's a little crazy? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on TikTok, please give me a follow instead of a subscribe. But please, let's blow this up. This is a must watch. This is a must hear. Because if I'm hearing and reading correctly, this means no DNA was found at any of the locations where Bryan Kohberger reside. So yeah, can you please drop in the comments what you think? Please hit that like and subscribe button, notification, and I will update you with more details. Guys, again, have a good day.